A year ago at Christmas, we got our son a 3D printer. And the first print I expected to see was that sample toy boat. But after 3 months of printing, what he brought over to show us was a dino skull. And he gifted it to us. So, what do you do with a rather large dino skull? Where do you put a 3-foot long dino skull print? After the skull sat on one table or another for a while, it became obvious that it would need its own stand. I started by asking my sister-in-law to stop by. She can envision simple solutions. Considering the massive size of the skull, it really doesn't weigh much, so the stand should be light as well. It should be easy to move and not take up more space than necessary, and it shouldn't detract from the skull. As you can see, Marley was onto the triangle shape from the beginning. From there, it was a matter of scale and coming up with an idea on how to attach the two outside runners. Now, that was easy. Preparing and gluing the cherry base was easy. I had to buy one more 1 1/4 inch piece of cherry dowel. Then I used the mill to cut mortises in the round side pieces. Then the table saw for cutting tenons on the middle attaching pieces. A quick glue and clamp, and that task was done. I needed to secure mount points to the skull. These had to be uniform and solid. After settling on the use of threaded studs, I needed to come up with a way to hold them in place. What I came up with was an aluminum bar that fixtures temporary 1/4-20 threaded rod. I shimmed the jaw sections against the table for angle and to keep it rigid. Then the aluminum bar was shimmed to suspend the 1/2-inch studs, and Bob's your uncle. All that remained was a few applications of epoxy. The jaw section was not attached to the top of the skull, so I needed some means of securing the two sections, and I wanted a gap or separation better showing the teeth. This would make the finished skull look more menacing. I chose a piece of clear acrylic rod. Securing this inside the jaw area, it would be hardly visible. A little painter's tape will protect the soft acrylic from the jaws of the lathe that will be used to cut and thread both ends of the rod. In the machine shop, I set up the rotary phase converter. The acrylic rod is locked into the jaws on the lathe. Then the end of the rod is faced off for a clean starting point. Next, a locating hole is started with a center drill. Now a hole is drilled in preparation for tapping. And finally, the hole is tapped for an 832 thread. Back on the assembly table, a screw is used to test the threads. And here you can see the acrylic rod has been installed. The top and bottom are both fastened to the skull with 832 machine screws. Well, the last problem to solve was how to mount the skull to the stand. A factor in this would be the angle of the skull, an angle that was yet to be determined. The last problem to solve on mounting the skull onto the little stand that I made, how to couple the skull to the stand itself. At first I thought that I could control the angle that I would drill into the cavity in the skull. Because of the way the 3D print had structural cavities inside of the print, I couldn't really control or have a really consistent angle for these vertical pieces to go into the skull itself. I came up with the idea of putting in some little threaded studs inside of the cavity, inside of 1/2-inch cavity holes in the skull. So this is just some 1/2-inch all thread, and I cut some slugs down to about 1.5 inches, and then I epoxied these up into the skull cavities. I used magnets to couple this to the stand. So on the vertical pieces on the stand, I drilled some little thread holes, and then I bought these magnets that are shaped like washers from the local hobby store. And fastened these to the brass stand. And then in the skull itself, I have these studs that were sticking out a little ways, and I bought some acorn nuts, and I attached those to the stud that was epoxied into the skull. And then when I have the skull support studs meet the magnet on the brass stand, I've got a pretty solid connection. And any angles that I've got on the skull, or differences in angles from one side to the other or front to the back, I can accommodate by these being able to hold fast at some pretty, pretty extreme angles. And then if I want to take the skull off the stand, I can just decouple it. And if I need to adjust it a little bit for height on one side versus the other, I can thread in or thread back out. And well, the stand is done. It is so light that it feels like nothing lifting it into place. The Dynaskull is equally light. Time to see how it all fits together.